Bandana Gaming, the channel where Logan will show you everything from gameplay to gear. Their crew is here to take you on a journey through every atmosphere. Releases to news, you don't have to choose. Red Bandana Gaming is here for you.
Hey everybody, Logan here. This article today made me think. So I'm going to show you this article, and people have been talking about how Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is going to be $70 and why that's so bad. And this article comes from Time Extension. I was doing my reading and looking, of course I always do. And then Time Extension shows a lot of retro stuff, and this article is just on point. And, well, let me get into it. It says, set by Zelda being $70, we've arguably never had it so good. $70 in 1994 is $140 in 2023 money. Inflation's a mother. Yeah. So let's take a look. I thought this was funny. So a lot of people have been talking about it. I'm not really going to read their article. If you want, you can check over. But the article shows a lot of good points. There's one section of the article I will read near the end. So this was mainly in response to all the stuff for the Nintendo Direct, and I thought about it, and I'm like, $70. We're all getting used to it, you know. But I also remember as a kid these prices. If you look at these prices, I remember Super Nintendo games being $70. I remember Nintendo 64 games being $70, and I'm like, they're just now getting back there. And, you know, money was more valuable back then, if that makes any sense, because of, well, inflation and everything. Back then, just for example, in action figures, say Ninja Turtles would be $3.50. Now you go to the store, they're $15. So that should tell you something. Even something simple as a can of soda was 50 cents. Now you go, it's $1.50, $2, depending on where you're going, just for a can of soda. And that's just out of machine. Sometimes back in the day, I remember when I was young, it used to be just a quarter. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But people that are complaining about don't really remember these days, or they're too young to remember. So I'm looking at this Maximum Carnage. That sounds about right. When Super NES All-Stars, the consoles were pretty inexpensive overall, but the games were not. So $64.99, $49.99, $60 for Super Metroid. I remember that. I remember these days. And Toys R Us was not one of the cheaper ones. They were pretty middle of the road. If you wanted cheap, or just, you know, just a little less than this, you'd have to go to Walmart. And Walmart didn't always have the biggest selection, depending on what time of the year you went. Toys R Us always had the most. So we're looking at some of these older ones. Now this is, I could tell this was later in the life of the consoles. For example, with the Super Nintendo, look at those Sega Genesis titles. Look at that. That's ridiculous. $70, $60. Here we got Street Fighter Alpha 2. I remember that. I remember renting it. That was $70. I didn't think it was that good of a Street Fighter game. Later, because I ended up playing it on PlayStation or in the arcade, and I was like, this isn't anything like the arcade. This I got, Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems, $59.99. Yeah. So yeah, and look at these prices, and this is Canada. Now we're going to take a look at Canada. Toys R Us Canada's biggest toy store, $94.99. Yeah. Their money has not always been worth as much as ours here in the States, so everything was always more expensive. But look at this. $89, $94, $79, $89, $94, $94. $54 for Zoop. Oh wow, that's a deal. That's a steal right there. $87 for Killer Instinct. I got Killer Instinct. I think I got it for $60 when I got mine. $60 US. So wow. And then this is what I want to read. Volume of sales is so huge now that there's a pretty convincing case to be made for games prices to be lower than they are. But of course, publishers will argue that many titles don't sell as well as that, and they have to cover their losses with higher prices. I got it. And inflation. And recession. It's also worth pointing out that aggressive discounting is common today, with some titles dropping to as much as half their original retail months after launch. Ridiculously, yeah. Even so, it does seem a bit rich to be grumbling about $70 video game in 2023 when some of us were mowing lawns, doing paper rounds, and washing cars all summer just to raise the $70 to purchase a solid gold classic that is Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, yeah. Where is it that it actually showed the conversion? $70 for a game that will give you more than 50 hours of entertainment of average doesn't sound like... Okay, no, where was it? I read it throughout the article, and I went, dang! Alright, right here. However, those with longer memories and the gray hair which goes along with them... I've got some in my beard now. That's why the beard got shorter. Might be wondering what the fuss is all about because we were paying $70 for video games almost 30 years ago. Facts. And it's worth pointing out that due to inflation, $70 in 2023 isn't the same as $70 in 1994. Adjusted to take account of inflation, it's more like $140 in modern money. Yikes. How do we possibly afford it? And that's for official release. Gray import titles were often even more expensive due to costs involved with shipping them from Japan and the high demand. The Japanese version of Street Fighter II on the Super Famicom was famously sold for well over £100 in the UK soon after its release. That'd be like $120 here. I think something like that. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. That's there you go. That's a little argument for a $70 price hike. But there's so many things going around about Tears of the Kingdom. I don't mind. You know, do I like paying more for games? No. Am I still gonna buy it? Yeah. Do we really have an option? No. Am I still gonna? Yeah. Are you gonna? Excuse me. Probably. Yeah. Indigestion. Cheese. Cheese. Breakfast. Eggs. Okay, I'll shut up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you guys think about the $70 price hike on certain Switch games, because we know it's not all of them. This is the first one. Other ones like what is it? Pikmin is still going to be 60, not 70. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. Drop it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Remember, follow us on our socials, like we always say. Be legendary. Thanks again. And I can't talk today. You see, I can't even. Okay, I'm going home.